Welcome to Don't Knock the Block. I knew she was going to do that. This is Miss Raina. She's going to join us today. Can you go back to your bed? Let's go back to your bed. Raina, go to bed. Go to bed and stay. All right, sorry. All right, so don't knock the block. If you have ever seen one of these props in either your gym or your studio and wondered what to do with it or dismissed it as an unnecessary tool, I hope you will change your mind after going through this routine with me. We'll be exploring lots of different ways we can move and stretch using a block. So make sure you've got a block and a mat, and we'll get started. One option we can do as we begin is to take the block and sit on it. And that may sound kind of funny, but what that does by raising us up a couple of inches is help to kind of rotate the pelvis in a way that aligns our spine more neutrally. So just give it a try, see how that feels. If you don't like it, just put it aside. Either way, sit nice and tall, and we'll begin with some neck stretches. Drop your ear to the shoulders, slowly roll your head around to the other side, and we'll bring it back again. And we'll just do a couple more of these. Bring your head back to center and start to do some slow forward rolls with your shoulders. Just some gentle movements as we warm up here. And now circle your shoulders the other direction. Hopefully everything is feeling very good so far. All right, relax. Now we're going to remove the block from underneath and then open into a wide angle, extending your right leg to the side, bending your left knee and propping your knee up on the block. Sitting nice and tall, hinge forward and hold. So we're opening up through the hips, gentle stretch through the inner thighs. And it's kind of nice to have that support with the block here under your knee. Now sit back up. Two options coming up, and there are going to be a lot of options in this routine, so I will talk you through those all. You can either keep the block under your knee and just kind of pivot to face your extended leg, keeping the support and hinging forward from here, targeting more of the hamstrings. Or you can take the block to the sole of your foot, and that might deepen the stretch just a little bit. And take a couple of slow, deep breaths here. Then sit tall to counter that stretch. Bring your right arm up and over, big side stretch. And relax back down. Going to the other side, we'll extend our left leg. Option 2, prop that block underneath the knee. Sitting tall once again, hinge forward. So you'll notice throughout the routine that this block is excellent at providing a little bit of extra support. Good, rise up. We're going to pivot our torso toward the extended leg again. Either bring that block along for the ride and hinge forward, or take the block to the sole of your foot. Go to bed, go to bed. Good, and come up, side stretch. This time left arm reaches up and over. And relax. All right. And I should have said this at the beginning, but it's ideal to have the mat sideways for this routine. So we're going to take the block to the top of our mat, setting up for cat and cow, coming to tabletop position. We'll set one hand on either side of the block, starting with a neutral spine. Then we'll arch the back, bringing our gaze up, and round the back, bringing our gaze down. Following the pace of your breath. Stretching out through the spine, through the neck. And now we'll come to neutral position. Bring your left hand to the block and extend your right leg out to the side. Option to twist by lifting your right arm up toward the ceiling and holding. Bring that hand down. We'll set up on the other side. So one hand on each side of the block, pull your leg back in. Now set your right hand on the block, extend your left leg to the side, and if you like to twist, reach up toward the ceiling and hold. Good, lower that hand down, reset everything back in tabletop, tuck your toes to the mat, lift your hips, down dog, and pause here for a few seconds, stretching out through your lower legs, maybe pedaling out one foot at a time. And then walk your feet forward. Grab your block, slowly roll up to standing. Once you're up, bring the block about halfway on your mat and have it slightly in front of you. Then open into a slightly wideish stance, getting ready for squats. Block is there as a goal to touch as we squat down. So let's give it a try. Bend your knees, hinge from your hips. Maybe reach up at the top and do it again. Keeping your spine nice and long, driving your hips back behind you, warming up through our lower body here. You can try reaching down with one arm, other arm comes behind the back, and then you switch. Or you continue doing both arms together. All right, next up, side lunge, and we're going to widen our stance a little bit. Lunge to your right side, hinge from your hips, arms forward, come back to center. Side lunge to your left, come back to center. So we're trying to get deep enough here to feel work going on in our legs and glutes. Core is engaged because we're hinging from our hips. Let's do one more lunge each side. We'll meet in the center for wide stance forward fold. Soften your knees, melt forward, hands can land on the block, and just enjoy a nice stretch here for a moment. Blocks are really useful for twists. So if you would like to twist today, keep your right hand on the block and reach your left arm up toward the ceiling. And switch sides, lowering the left hand, reaching up with the right. Bring that hand down, grab your block, slowly round up to standing. And we'll try triangle pose with the block. So keep your stance wide, turn your right foot to the side, but keep your left foot facing forward. Block is in your right hand. So arms out to the sides. Then we'll tilt down to the right side, either holding that block against the thigh kind of as a guide to keep open, or if you're able to do so without slouching forward, maybe that block comes all the way to the floor. Now, I usually slouch forward if I come that low, so I'm going to stay up a little bit higher, but you can experiment with your body and see what it does today. Rise back up. We'll switch sides, so right foot forward, left foot side, block in your left hand, arms out to your sides, then tilt to your left side, either just holding the block against your leg as a guide, or if you can stay open, bringing the block all the way to the floor. Rise back up. Next, we'll use the block in chair pose. So bring your feet back in, take the block between your thighs. And what that's going to do for us is keep our knees tracking over our ankles so they don't collapse inward as we squat. So once you've got the block in place, bend your knees, hinge from your hips, come as low as you can go and maintain for several seconds. Arms can be up overhead, or you can always modify with hands to heart or even hands on your thighs. Beautiful. Rise up. Now place the block on the floor about halfway along your mat, and we'll step on it with our right foot. Make sure the entire heel is on the block. Your toes can dangle off, but make sure the heel is fully on the block. The other foot will be parallel. Squats are coming. Uneven squats. Let's give it a try. Bend and straighten. So it's going to feel a little bit awkward in this uneven position. So nothing fancy here as we get started, just squats. But then I'm going to show you some variations. Let's squat and add a knee lift as we rise up. Little balance challenge. Squat, knee. And yeah, it's harder to balance when your foot is on the block. Next variation, squat, lift your leg side. Squat, side. Each variation is challenging in its own way. Next one is a hamstring curl. So we curl heel to glute. Squat, curl. We're doing about 4 repetitions of each variation. So this should finish us up. And we're going to switch sides. So block is now underneath your left foot. Make sure heel is fully on. Hip distance apart. Just regular squats. Down and up. You may feel a little bit more comfortable on one side than the other, but I'm betting both sides feel just a little awkward because we're uneven. All right, you can continue keeping both feet on the floor, or next time add a knee lift. Squat, lift the knee. Squat, knee. One more with a knee lift. Next option is a side lift. And you're welcome to look at a focal point rather than the screen. That might help you balance a little bit better. All right, one more to the side. And then hamstring curl to the back. Take your time, slow and controlled. Good, one more. Beautiful. All right, we can kick the block aside for a second. A little more work coming up. We're going to turn this direction, and I'm hoping your mat is this way because that'll be helpful. We'll come to the top of the mat and do reverse lunges with our right leg. And I'll give you lots of options here as well. So we'll start with reverse lunge and tap back in. So definitely working strength of the lower body, but also a little bit of balance. So you may want to stay right here, lunging back and tapping in. Next option would be lunge back, lift the knee. Lunge back, lift the knee. Good. If you'd like to try something more, lunge back, lift the knee, hold, extend, bend. Lunge back, knee, extend, bend. So we have to keep that leg up a little bit longer. We have one more coming, and that's where our final option will be. We'll hold the knee bend, take the left hand to the right thigh, and then rotate and hold. Good. Untwist and sit down. Shake it out. Side 2. You're welcome to turn to the other side, or you can stay in place, but we'll be using the opposite leg. So left leg lunges back and taps in. Always starting with that base move to build our confidence, to find our steadiness. So either stay here or we'll sweep the knee. Lift, lunge, lift. Nice and strong. Wobbling is okay, as I just demonstrated. Next option, hold the knee, then extend, bend. Lunge back, knee up, extend, bend. Once again, take your time. I'm going to do this one more time, and then I'll hold the knee lift at the end with the option to hold the thigh with the opposite arm and rotate back. Good, and release. Shake it out, shake it out. You're welcome to grab a quick sip of water, and then we'll get right back to work. When you come back, you'll want to set your block at the top of your mat. We'll take 3 big breaths and then fold forward. So inhale up, exhale out. A couple more times, big breath in. This is a little bit of recovery. On this exhale, fold forward, maybe finding the block with your hands, softening your knees, letting your head hang heavy and relaxed. Next, we'll work our way into a low lunge. So bring your left foot forward to the side of your block and your right leg back. Make sure knee is stacked over ankle. And this is going to give you a nice stretch through your thigh and hip flexors. Now, if you like to twist, keep your left hand on the block and reach your right arm up toward the ceiling. Lower the hand down. To switch sides, take your left foot back into a plank position. How fun is this? And then your right foot forward next to the block, again making sure knee stacks over ankle. Either hold centered or keep your right hand on the block and lift your left arm up toward the ceiling. Unrotate. Bring your right foot back into plank and just sit down for a second. Child's pose to rest. You can keep your hands on the block and you might feel a deeper stretch through your shoulders that way. Now, since those planks were so short, I don't want you to feel cheated. So we're going to do another round of planks, and I've got 2 variations for you. One involves keeping the block on the floor, setting one hand next to the block, either side, coming to plank from either feet or knees, and then tapping the block, alternating hands. The other option, this one's fun, take the block to your back, come back to plank. To make it more challenging, add some movement, maybe hamstring curls, or any other kind of movement you choose. Brace strong through your core. Hold here for a few more seconds. We'll get a nice stretch after this. I know block isn't falling. And relax. Block back to the floor. We'll stretch in child's pose once again. You can use the block or not. All right, we're going to unfold onto our stomach next for some back extensions. You won't need the block for these. So legs are long, hands by your chest. We'll do assisted little mini cobras. So roll your shoulders down and back. Inhale, lift up using a little bit of strength from your arms, and then slowly lower back down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep your arms nice and tight to your sides. Inhale, lift. Strong through the whole back side. Exhale, down. Last one. and lower down. Very good. All right, couple options next for a hip stretch. I'm going to show you one called fire log first. We'll come to a crisscross position and use the block to prop your right foot on. Now, if you have knee issues where you can't bend your knee very much, you're welcome to make it less of a bend, or if you feel like bringing it in more, totally up to you. You'll keep your spine long and hinge forward. I love this one. Or we can use the block in pigeon. Right leg would be forward, left leg long behind. Here are two options you can use the block here. You can take the block and kind of prop it underneath that right hip, no, left hip. Sorry, it's your left leg forward. That keeps your hips nice and level. Or if you want to come to sleeping pigeon, you can use the block to rest your head. So hold wherever you are for several more seconds. And ease your way back up. We'll go right to the other side. So either come right to pigeon or I'll show you fire log again. You're just crisscrossing your legs, this time left leg in front, block under the left foot, hinge forward, play around with the position of the foot as you like, or with pigeon, opposite leg forward. And the options for the block, once again, just using it to prop up the hip or to rest your head. Ease your way out of your hip stretch and you'll lie on your left side. Block will be in front. You're propped up on your elbow, knees are bent and stacked. Bring your top hand onto the block, that'll help keep you nice and steady. Then we'll draw circles with our top knee. So here we're focusing on hip mobility. Always an important thing to work on. We'll do a few circles one direction, then let's switch. A few circles the other. Doing our best to keep the rest of the body nice and stable. All right, set your leg down, lie on your side, and stack your top hand on your bottom hand. Open that top arm to the other side, creating a nice twist through the spine, and hold. Slowly bring the arm back. We'll prop ourselves back up to switch sides. Bring the block along. So we'll prop up on the forearm, bend and stack our legs, set the hand on the block, forward hip circles to get started here on side 2. Noticing if there are any major differences from one side to the other. You're always welcome to do a little bit more on a side that you might feel is not quite as strong or mobile. Change direction of your circles. Beautiful. Set that leg down, lie on your side, stack your hands, and then slowly open to the other side and hold. I'm trying not to make contact with Raina because she might think that's her cue. And then bring the hand back and roll onto your back. We don't need our block, so I'm just going to get this out of the way. Start with both legs nice and long. Point your right foot, lift the right leg up toward the ceiling, flex at the top and lower down. Repeat. Point to lift, flex to lower. Point, lift, flex lower. And notice how that makes a difference, whether your foot is flexed or pointed, and how that feels in the leg. We'll do that a couple more times. Now, the next time your leg is lifted, hold it there. I like to bring my arms out just a little bit to help me balance. Then we'll circle here. Another way to work hip mobility. And these aren't super big circles, and they're not super small circles. It's kind of the Goldilocks of circles. You're going to find that perfect size where you can work your leg around without moving your entire body. Change direction of the circle. And that takes a lot of control. Good, let's give the hip a break. Hug in just that right leg. And take a couple slow, deep breaths. All right, extend both legs. We'll be working the other side. Start by pointing your foot. Slowly lift the leg up. Flex and lower back down. Point and lift. Flex and lower. Now, if you have long legs or you just want to go more slowly, please do. Take these at your own pace. Just don't rush. We've got one more coming. This one will hold at the top. Maybe bring your arms out a little bit and start to circle the leg around. And it's really hard to keep the rest of the body quiet. Change direction of your circles. And when you're ready, hug the knee to chest. Good, release. All right, I'm going to show you several options for this next exercise. So once you've seen this routine once, you will know the options and you can go right to the one you want. Don't think you have to do all three every time. First option, we're going to take the block to our right thigh and hold it in place with our right hand, both legs in reverse tabletop. Start with your right arm up toward the ceiling. Then we'll lengthen both the arm and the leg. So it's same side arm and leg that are moving. So this is option one. You can either keep your head resting on the floor or you can lift it off the ground for a little bit more challenge. Good. One more this side, then we'll switch and then I'll show you some other variations. So now you'll set the block on the opposite leg, same side arm and leg. We'll extend and come back to center. Either head down or head up. Now, if you think this one is fun, just wait till you see the other options. I'm going to finish up right here. Other option you can do, set the block across your shins, hands behind your head, then extend your legs away and crunch back in. And the goal is to not let that block fall off. What a fun way to do crunches, right? I'm going to do this a couple more times. All right, final option. I'll see if I can even do it because I'm under pressure here recording this. I'm going to take the block across my feet, lift my legs up toward the ceiling, and reach up toward one foot, reach up toward the other. Once again, trying not to let the block fall and hit me in the face. That's no fun. Slow and easy. Good. finish it up. So those are all your options. You can do a quick run through of each or pick one and do a really long set. Now take the block underneath your right foot, getting set for bridge lifts. So you'll want the other foot parallel-ish to the block foot. And the way I do that is I touch the block with my other foot so I have an idea of where it is, and then just slide it to the side a few inches. Arms by your sides. When you're ready, lift the hips off the floor and slowly set back down again. And it's another one of those exercises. It's going to feel a little bit awkward because you're uneven. You'll probably feel the block leg working a little bit harder than the other. And it's always good to change things up in your exercises. Teach your muscles some new things. Keep them adapting and strong. Let's do a couple more. We need to save a little bit of energy for side two. How about one more? These are kind of fun for real. All right, when your hips are down, switch sides. Slide the block over to make sure the other foot is more or less parallel. Feel for it with your foot and then slide to the side till your feet are about hip distance apart. And when you're ready, lift up, set down. And this one targets the hamstrings, the glutes, the low back. And it also gently stretches the muscles in the front, the hip flexors, the thighs. Slow, controlled movements. Two more. Finish the one you're on. Hips stay down. Now take the block, and I'm going to show you a couple of options. First option, I'm going to set it to my right side, arms out to a T-ish position. Then I'm going to drop my knees to the right, landing them on the block so I have some support in my spinal twist. So if you want to hold, stay here. The other option is to bring the block between your thighs for support and flow side to side. And if you're holding to the right now, I will tell you when to switch. So if you're flowing, keep flowing. If you're holding to the right, begin to switch to the other side, bringing the block to the left and resting your knees on the block. All right, getting ready to bring our knees back to center for another wonderful stretch using the block. Now notice you can use the block in various different positions, on its long side, on its short side, or on its flat side. For this next stretch, most of us are going to want it on its long side. Perhaps on its flat side, almost not at all on this side, on the short side. So we'll start with it here on the long side. Staying in bridge lift. Lift the hips up and bring the block underneath your very low back, right at the top of your glutes. And that's going to give us a nice supported bridge lift. How sweet is this? Now if that feels a little bit high to you, try the block on its flat side. Unless you have really, really, really long legs, you see how much this is going to crane the back out of position. So probably on the long or the flat side, and just relax. Good. Now we'll remove the block from the low back. Bring our hips all the way to the floor. Lengthen your legs, grab the block in your hands, and lift your arms overhead for full body stretch. And here you can play around with the position of the block. either on its long side, short side, flat side, whatever feels best in long body stretch. Good. Just leave the block where it is. Bring your arms by your sides. And think about how your body feels after using the block in all those different positions. And if you feel like moving or stretching in any other way, please take a minute or two here at the end of class to stretch however your body needs. But I am so happy that you gave this routine a try. I hope you fell in love with the block and loved all, or at least most, of the movements and stretches we did with the block today. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you do this one again very soon.